What happens when two seasoned business leaders get together? They talk shop, of course. Sit back and listen in as Long and Vince Moiso share from their experience around current issues facing executives, entrepreneurs, and their leadership teams. The CEO podcast starts now.
Hey everybody, Vince Moiso here with the CEO podcast. This is our reprise, our limited series, and we are in episode 4, which is pretty cool. You can reach me at vince@vizbiz.us. You can also check out my website. Just go to vizbiz.us or just vincemoiso.com and get a ton of information there.
And I'm Scott DeLong, also part of the CEO podcast, and really glad to be here again. You can get a hold of me at scott@lead2goals.com or just hit my website up at lead2goals.com. A lot of information on there.
Yeah, so Scott, just rolling into episode 4, this has been super fun, right?
Yeah.
Just to get back into the swing of it after doing, 100 episodes and then just taking a little bit of a hiatus. And then coming back, I think when you and I got together and posed the idea of running through a limited series, we said it's got to be around leadership and leadership at this crossroads. So we've got this completely supercharged environment right now, both politically and economically, that's driving a lot of decision making within businesses. And so we moved our first 3 episodes around topics around this leadership at the crossroads, and we're continuing it right here.
Sure.
And we're talking about in episode 4 this warrior mentality. Is it outdated or is it essential? And let me explain that a little bit. The warrior style of leadership, I think, is more prevalent than ever today, in my opinion. I think it seems that way, at least. Like, I have that perception that there's a lot of leadership style that is taking from the warrior mentality, and I don't know, the question we have to ask is, does business hold a place for that style of leadership?
So I'm going to change the question just a little bit, because while the warrior style is killing it, and it is, what is the kind of leadership? What is the kind of leader does today's workforce respond to? And the situations that call for a warrior versus a more progressive style. And one of the things I'm thinking about, now that I'm back teaching again in the university, right, is thinking about these young people, 19 and 20-year-olds. Are they going to respond well to the warrior style? They certainly didn't grow up with it like you and I might have.
Yeah.
And how important are they to our business? Going to be a question I want to chat a bit about. But does the warrior style really make sense? Or is it just misunderstood? I'm not sure. Like, let's dig in.
Yeah, that's the question for me. Is like I feel it's a little misunderstood, right? And that's certainly where I come from, because I would consider myself a business warrior. I would say I definitely fall into that category. I think business can still be a battle, right? Like, my business has been a battle for a number of years. And we're focused on recapturing market share. So I feel like I'm in the field. My reps are in the field. I mean, people that work with me are working hard, man. They are putting forth the effort in a hardcore way to help us achieve that vision and the goals that we have for this year. So we're battling right now for retail space with our competitors. I mean, it's retail space in the world that we're living in the merchandising space that we want to get. It's like you gotta fight for that. And then once you have it, you have to protect it. You have to figure out ways that you're going to protect it. And as a leader, I'm going to strategize and plan accordingly to reach that goal. I'm going to maximize the opportunity for my team to succeed. So when I think of warrior mentality, that means I'm going to get into the trenches when I need to. I'm going to be this elite strategist. So my job is to coach, to support, to strategize, and give my team the best chance of success, which means I've got to help them execute. I've got to give them clear direction. It starts with me. The buck stops with me. I carry that burden of directing the team, so I set them up for success.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. I mean, Jocko Willink to the extreme ownership concept. I know
Yeah.
you buy into that.
I love it.
That as well.
Yeah.
And it's essential for the leader. But demanding that same level for every employee is unrealistic. It's just not. They don't have invested what you have invested. Yes,
yeah.
it's their career. It's a big part of their life,
Yeah.
and it's important to them. Don't get me wrong, because
Yeah.
I do believe that as well. But they don't have the investment that you have. So having that expectation on myself, I'm fine with that. Having that level of expectation upon others, not so much, right? I don't think business is about winning at all costs.
It's a mindset though. And I didn't use the term, so I just want to repeat what you just said, winning at all costs.
Okay.
And I'm not going to use that term. That's intentional.
Good.
Because I'm not saying win at all costs, right? Because the cost of that can be catastrophic.
Back to that toxic discussion we had earlier in episode 3.
We were talking about culture in episode 3.
Sure.
And that's part of that toxicity that so I can have a warrior mindset, which means I'm willing to go to battle. So let me just give you a specific example. So I go over our key performance indicators each week with the team, right? So I'm looking at data, I'm looking at sales data, I'm looking at reports. It's just data at the end of the day. I'm not saying it's good or bad or anything like that. I'm not getting down on anybody. So I think there's this misconception when I said that the warrior mindset or the warrior mentality is a little misunderstood. I think people, when you hear the word warrior, you're thinking of Ragnar Lothbrok, right? This
burn
Viking
the boats,
guy,
right?
this Viking guy that's just killing and maiming and all, like doesn't matter what's in his way.
Good.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being on the football field. I'm talking about, okay, it's 4th and 1. What am I going to do to get that first down? There's a minute left and we're down by 6 points. What are we going to do to get to put 100% of our effort toward getting that touchdown? In the end, nobody dies. Nobody, no one's getting killed. No one's getting maimed.
No
one's
rape, pillaging, and
no, there's none of that. It's just
good.
It's just, can you say, it's funny. I'll give you another example, right? I was on my studio bike this morning, right? And I always I'm up early. It's just a part of my routine. I got on the studio bike and I was riding with George Hincapie, who's a very famous 19-year professional cyclist, Tour de France. I mean, this guy is insane. And I like listening to him and watching him as I'm going on one of his rides. And he's riding up the Haleakala crater. So it was a tough ride this morning. And you start to get this, you're 20 minutes in and it's a really hard ride, and I'm starting to talk to myself like I should stop right now. And George was talking about the mindset of overcoming those situations. It's overcoming adversity, and sometimes you have to have that warrior mentality to overcome that feeling of I can't do this, right? I can't do this thing. And then in the end he was using, I forget the name of the race, but he said the best he ever did was second place. Raced it many times, best he ever did was second place. But he said, I'm satisfied that I did all I could do.
All you could do. Good.
All I could do, 100% of what I could do to maximize my chances of success. That's what I'm asking of my team. I'm not asking them to be me. I'm not asking them to necessarily be a warrior. I'm saying take the mindset to do 100, put yourself in a position to maximize your chances.
So we're not that far off, because I think as well that while I may have this extreme ownership piece on me and this drive and this desire that I can put on myself, I think it's part of my job as the leader to try to inspire others to be the best that they can be as well.
Yeah.
So if that's the term, if that's how we envision what a warrior looks like, creating the inspiration for others to be the best that they can be, as opposed to demanding that they are something that maybe they're not capable of or not comfortable with even, right? And I think the warrior mentality that I see in the workplace today, not in the workplace, in the coaching sphere that I've seen, the warriors are saying, You just drive, drive, drive. You kill, kill, kill. You eat, eat, eat. You do all that kind of stuff. And I don't believe that that is realistic, a realistic expectation to be placing upon others.
Well, I like the.
Can I inspire them to want to be more? Yeah, that's my
Sure you
job.
can.
That's my
Yeah.
job.
It's what it's what you're there for as a leader. And I love so I love this quote. I've used this quote on a previous podcast, Scott, and it's from Mike Tyson. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Sure.
And I think you see again this concept. You ask the question: is the warrior mentality, is the warrior mindset, is it misunderstood? I think it is.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect quote. Is that what are you going to do to overcome adversity? You've done all this planning, you've done all this preparing, you've done all these things, right? Well, guess what? Shit doesn't happen exactly the way you think it's going to happen.
Right.
Life is hard. I love this adage, right? I use it all the time. Is being an entrepreneur is hard. Being an employee is hard. Choose your hard. Being married is hard. Being divorced is hard. Choose your hard, right? Living by yourself is hard. Living with a roommate is hard. Choose your hard, right? So everything is hard. And I think, we've got an upcoming podcast where we're going to talk about some of the adversity that businesses face around, different generations of talent and employees that are coming in.
Yep.
But this is part of that, is that you've got this diversity, this generational diversity in your business. You've got culture, you've got all these things. And, how are you going to get people to fight with you, like to fight in the battle with you? Shit's not going to happen the way that you think it is. You're going to get punched in the face a little bit. How do you overcome that adversity together? And then ultimately, how can you say at the end of any day, did you give 100% of what you could do to maximize your opportunity for success?
So I think that requires some adaptability, right? And we seem to have the expectations that our employees are going to have adaptability and being able to adapt to situations to overcome those. But we might need to as well, based on the personalities and the people that we have working with us. And we need to be a little bit of adaptable instead of this warrior. And you said you didn't claim the win at all costs warrior, and I appreciate that. But I have seen that in the marketplace.
Sure.
As a winning short-term strategy, it could be, absolutely. But I think leaders need to do something different. Sure, it's up to us to set the vision, and we also need to align our team around shared goals. We need to create the conditions for people to succeed rather than just demand that they do. We have to have real accountability for people as well. I'm not opposed to accountability. Don't get me wrong, right? I'm a big support guy. I think we need to support the people for their success.
Yeah.
But I also think we have the obligation to hold people accountable to the
do.
things that they say they're going to do.
Absolutely.
So I'm not this, woke, toughness kind of guy.
Right.
But at the same time, we got to recognize that we're dealing with people and they are all different. Those that align with us, stay with us, and those that we just require to do things a certain way that they're not capable of, obviously aren't going to.
Yeah.
All right?
Well, you said something critical in there. Performance and accountability are still a part of this. So,
absolutely.
Reverting back to the previous episode, as we were talking so much about culture, this is a part of that, having that warrior mindset. Performance and accountability are important. I mean, I'm going to do it with love, right? A warrior isn't.
It's not a word you use a lot, or people use a lot in business.
No,
love, right?
But listen though, this is important to understand. A warrior is not void of love. It doesn't mean I don't cry, that I don't have feelings, that I don't have emotions or anything. I have all of that, and I've been described as intense. I've been described as intimidating, and I've been described as those things. I've come to embrace those things because I'm passionate about what I do. I believe in my business. I care for my business. I truly care for the people I work with, and I want to see them succeed. Part of my success is their success. Their success is my success.
Good.
And I believe that, and I think a real warrior is in tune with all of that, not just the Tasmanian devil that is just running amok and destroying everything in their path. I think the real warrior, the real warrior leader is showing that same love and compassion for their team. It's the person that instead of running, right, and just saving themselves, they're going back to pick up their teammate and understanding that we have to do this together, right? We're going to accomplish these results together, and results are important. They're important to everybody.
Yep.
They're important in business.
No question.
And people want to be acknowledged and recognized for results. I understand my personality very well. I'm a results-driven individual, and I impress that upon my team. It's why I go over those results. I go over those key performance indicators, and I say, this is what we're doing. This is the data we have to work with. What are we going to do different this week that's going to produce different or better results, right? Results are important so that we can all be recognized. But at the end, we got those results together. That's important.
Sure. No, I get all that. And I don't want to be confused with a guy that doesn't want to win. I mean, I'm going to win. Pick a ping pong paddle. I'm going to win. I am going to win.
You're beating me in ping pong for sure.
I'm going to drive myself to win. Now, the problem with me and having that mindset is that I also know that I can win faster if other people are coming along. Winning by myself versus winning with others, right?
Yeah.
So my job as the leader is to inspire those people in such a way that we have this common vision, that we have these goals that we've set together, that I provide them all the support, that I hold them accountable, and at the same time not be an asshole.
Yeah.
Not be that guy with the helmet and the sword that's just going to win at all costs.
Yeah.
And when I say warrior, when I hear the warrior mentality, that's what I envision is Attila the Hun.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't think it's that.
It's not that.
I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
In this battle at that time, you might need to be Attila. I get it.
Yeah.
Right? But in this whole concept of leadership, getting people to do more together
Some different.
with me, then I think there's a slight difference from that Attila look.
No question. And so as we approach the end of our conversation or get near the end of our conversation, Scott, here's the question. So
Okay.
the CEOs, the executives, the entrepreneurs, the business owners that are listening, thank you for getting this far. We love it. And here's the question. When does the warrior come out in you? When does the warrior come out in your business? When is it appropriate to come out in your business? And when is it necessary to come out in your business?
This is going to be a strange answer, but I'm going to go back to my ping pong analogy. It comes out then, and then I have problems finding people that want to play with me at the same time. So I still have to be cautious with it, right? Not because I'm an asshole. Like, I am not going to lose in that game or whatever game we pick up. In golf, I'm going to lose quite often. But in ping pong,
pickleball too, right?
The warrior comes out, and less people want to hang out with me when I'm in that mindset.
Yeah.
So I think, as a leadership principle, it is, we might say it's misunderstood as a principle, but as a leadership principle, it's outdated, and I don't think should be applied. That's just my position. I think it's, I'm in it to win it. I want to do things, but I want to do things with people. And I know when I become my warrior, I have less people that want to be around me.
Well, so then the question, maybe the better question is like, how do you tame that warrior to be the warrior I'm talking about? And the warrior that comes out in me is the one that wants to get other people that are going to come fight with me. I'm the warrior that's going to go fight in the trenches with you. I'm the one that wants to win together. It's not win at all costs.
Right.
It's win by putting out your maximum effort for chances of success. And I think
what do you do to show that? What do you do to embody that persona so that people want to come and fight with you?
Well, I mentioned that previously, is that I'm coming from a place, and I'm very quick to remind my team that's coming from a place of love. It's coming from a place of caring. It's coming from a place of passion. It's coming from a place of like, we're achieving this together, not any type of individual success. I don't need or want any type of recognition for it. I mean, I don't need to take credit for it. And I think the leaders that win, the leaders that can take on that warrior mentality are the ones that don't need to take credit for the win. And I will give the win to my team 100% of the time, all day, every day. And I think that's the place you got to come from.
So let's ask the viewers or the listeners the question: is when is the warrior in you come out, and is it when you want it to, and is it the appropriate and right time for it to come out? And if you're doing that well, and you're doing it with people, you win. But it's a good challenge to ask yourself.
Yeah, I
agree. That's a good question.
Thanks for listening, everybody. This was episode 4 as a part of our limited series. We appreciate you listening, and stay tuned. In the next couple weeks, you'll get episode 5 out. I'm very excited to put this out, Scott. I'm excited about the next few episodes to finish out our limited series. So we appreciate you hanging on.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. We appreciate you being here.
See you next time.
Thank you for joining us for the CEO Podcast. Please visit us at theceopodcast.net, where you can learn more about our co-hosts and listen to past episodes. If you would like to have a discussion and dive deeper into any topic, there is also an option to contact Scott or Vince to schedule some time with them. Thanks for listening.